Now, for some, getting up in front of an audience like this to give a speech is enough really to cause major panic. The fear of speaking reportedly ranks as one of the top of all three fears. Number one, the fear of dying. Number two, the fear of giving a speech. And number three is the fear of dying while giving a speech. I will try not to die while I'm up here today, but no promises. And while we're on it, fear is an interesting emotion. So what is fear? Fear is defined as that unpleasant emotion and belief that something is either dangerous, likely to cause pain, or a threat to us. As humans, we can take fear and we can dwell on it and can come up with an unlimited number of what-ifs and corresponding negative outcomes. Fear can actually build on fear. But do you know what fear really stands for? False evidence that appears real. F-E-A-R. Our brains have an ability to take that false evidence and twist it into the worst possible outcomes, to the point of making it appear real, which can be paralyzing. Why? Because we strive to be perfect. And the fear of failure in our mind is the opposite of perfection, and therefore, not acceptable. We're afraid of not being perfect, not being the perfect boss, the perfect employee, the perfect spouse, the perfect parent. And leading up to this day, the fear of not being the perfect student. So we prioritize all of our efforts to avoid not being perfect. Headline, nobody is perfect. Failure is part of life. We all fail. We have all failed. Everyone on stage, everyone there, the students, the graduates, we have all had failures. And guess what? We're going to continue to experience failure. You cannot avoid it. The most successful people have learned not to fear failure. They have become comfortable with failure for what it is: more education. Failure is an opportunity to learn. Every person we look up to has had major failures, some that most would have considered career enders. But those failures did not end careers. So how do you address and control your fear? Some will say you need to be brave and fight that fear. And it's cowards who fall victim to their fears. So be brave. But do you know that the opposite of bravery is not cowardice? The opposite of bravery is conformity. Doing everything the same way that everybody else does it. Being like everybody else, thinking the same way everybody else does. By doing what everybody else does, our hope is to avoid failure. We copy the steps, the actions, the processes that people we look up to do. Failure is not something you can avoid, no matter how much you conform to what others do or how they do it. Taking what we think is the safe route actually puts us at more risk. It takes bravery to step out and leave that warm space of conformity and try something new. And let's be honest, conformity is comfortable. You know what to expect. You conform to the norms of the office, you conform to the norms of the school. It's predictable. The problem is that the world out there is changing, whether we're ready for it or not. Conformity is not preparing you or I to compete and succeed. What constitutes success in the future is not the same thing that's defined success in the past. When I started my career a long time ago, success was defined as doing the tasks our boss assigned to us and doing those well, then getting our annual performance review, getting our 2 to 3% pay increase every year, then wake up every morning, repeat, and then repeat it every day for a 30-year career. In this new creative economy that we are moving towards, the definition of success is different. The definition of success in the creative economy is your ability to create ideas that create significant value for the organizations that you are part of. The days of just being a cog in the wheel and doing what other people tell you to do is not where value will be created. Value and success come to those that are creative, that use ingenuity to create ideas to solve problems. And this creative economy is coming much faster than any of us predicted. The ability for an economy to succeed is going to be based on its citizens embracing the coming creative economy and learning how to take the natural ability that we all, everybody here, including the friends and family in the audience, we all have the natural ability to use our creativity. Your work and success here at ITU has prepared you to be a leader in this coming creative economy. But not everybody has taken the steps you have. They have not prepared themselves. In a recent study, only 25% of the population believe they are creative and are applying it to creating value. Therefore, 75% of the population do not see themselves as creative and are not ready to compete in the creative economy. Now, what does that say about economic future, our economic growth, when only 25% of the workforce is ready? Just by completing your studies here at ITU, you are part of the 25%ers and have created a competitive advantage for yourself. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. I'm not a pessimistic. I think we have a bright and exciting future. Why? Because of you, the graduates, and my grandkids. You, because of the hard work you did to get here, and my grandkids. And I have 5 of them. Yes, I know, I look pretty good for being a grandfather of 5. My grandkids are the perfect example of being highly creative. I'm amazed at how many different ways they can take a toilet paper roll and turn it into some creative toy. They have no limit to their imagination. Why? Because they don't care what you or I think about them. They have no concept yet of conformity. They are not looking for acceptance. They already have it. In their minds, when they do something incredibly cute and funny, they don't see us as laughing at them. They see it as our joy in what they have created. They don't yet understand that concept of conformity because they're exploring and they are experimenting. They aren't letting others tell them how to think, how to act, or what to wear, or how to make themselves happy. They are avoiding that conformity trap. And we all need to do whatever we can to protect ourselves, our kids, and our grandkids from this trap. So why do 75% of the population think they are not able to contribute to the creative economy? Because they don't see being creative, being innovative, taking risks, experimenting as being normal. Creativity and innovation requires risk, and the risk of failure is not comfortable. And being uncomfortable, taking risk is something that 75% of the population will do almost anything to avoid. It takes a lot to step out and share our creativity, to show off our ideas. But we as a society need your human ingenuity and your creativity to solve some of our biggest problems and create the opportunities for the future. It was creativity and human ingenuity that came up with the polio vaccine. It was creativity that put the man on the moon. It was creativity under pressure that saved the Apollo 13 astronauts and brought them home safely. And it was the creativity that invented the microprocessor, which is what enables the electronics that we are all carrying around in our pockets today. If you think about the level of impact from creative thinking has had on our daily lives, it's immeasurable. But the biggest barrier to unleashing human creativity is that fear. Remember what I said, what is fear? What does fear stand for? false evidence that appears real. So why am I such a strong believer on this message of encouraging people to take risks and to fight those fears? I've been fortunate in my career. I've experienced success way beyond what I could have anticipated growing up in the tough neighborhoods of Chicago in the 1960s. And what I realized was that my success wasn't because of some special gift or some special skill. So what was my secret? The secret I discovered to having a highly successful career is 1, don't let fear and conformity control you. Be willing to be weird. Take the risk and use your natural creative ability to solve problems and create opportunities. Now, it sounds simple, doesn't it? Find that creative courage. Be brave. And remember, bravery is not the opposite of cowardice. Bravery is the opposite of conformity. You stepping out and getting your degree is the perfect example of not conforming. Congratulations on your success. You are prepared to be the innovation leaders we need. So, go lead. Thank you very much.